Welcome to 6.3. This is Trigonometry Part 1, Finding Sides. So first thing you need to know what trig is. There's three different programs. You have sine, cosine, tangent. What sine means, it's just the sine of the angle equals the opposite of the angle over the hypotenuse. The way to remember it is SOH, sine opposite hypotenuse. And the trig function is always based off of the angle that is given. So in this question, it just wanted angle A. So you have the leg that's opposite of angle A, the hypotenuse, and the leg that's adjacent to angle A. Adjacent just means the side touching the angle that isn't the hypotenuse. So that was sine. So the next one is cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so the way we remember this is cosine adjacent hypotenuse. And the final one is tangent. Tangent means opposite over adjacent. So TOA, tan, opposite, adjacent. Okay, so how do we use this? Well, the first question just asks, what is the sine of S? According to S, the side opposite of S is 63, so I'm going to put an O. The hypotenuse is always across from the 90, so it's 65, and the adjacent is therefore 16. Sine, SOH, is opposite over hypotenuse, O and H. 63 over 65, so when we write our equation, sine S equals 63 over 65. And that's our final answer. Our next example is cosine of U. U is the top angle up there, so opposite is 24, the hypotenuse is 30, and the adjacent is therefore 18. Cosine is adjacent hypotenuse, and that's 18 over 30. But we can simplify that 18 over 30, they both divide by 6, so it's really 3 over 5. Our final example of the trig ratios is tan of S. This is the same triangle as our first example, so 63 is the opposite, 65 is the hypotenuse, and 16 is the adjacent. Tan is TOA, opposite over adjacent, 63 over 16. Those are our answers there. So now how do we find the side length given an angle? First thing you need to know is that there are these buttons here, sine, cosine, and tangent. But you have to be in degree mode. So if you see that button there that says mode, make sure you press it, and make sure that degree is highlighted instead of radian, or else none of this will work. And we're going to use these buttons to help us solve here. First thing we have to do is write the equation of what's given. We have our angle, it's 58 degrees, so we need to know what's the opposite, what's the hypotenuse, and what's the adjacent. In this question, the opposite has nothing on it. So it's just the adjacent and the hypotenuse that has a number or a variable. Because it's adjacent hypotenuse, that is cosine, because CAH. Cosine of 58, that's our angle, equals A, which is X, over H, which is 17. So that's what our equation looks like. Since 17 is on the bottom, when we cross multiply, we're going to put cosine of 58 over 1. When we cross multiply, what we're doing is 17 times the cosine of 58, and that's what we're going to type in our calculator. 17 times cosine of 58. So when the number's on the bottom, we multiply. We just need to keep that in mind here. What we get when we type this in is 9.0. Our other type of equation here is 59. Opposite of that is x, the adjacent is 18, and the hypotenuse is nothing. This is O and A because those are the two things with variables and numbers. Tangent of 59 equals x over 18, and again 18 is on the bottom, so we multiply. So this is 18 times tangent of 59. One pointer on this, when the number is on top, if it had been 18 divided by x, we're actually going to do 18 divided by the trig function in that type of question. Good luck on the practice.